The next up, new research from HelloFresh reveals that over a half of Irish workers say that their diet is worse on the days that they go into the office. That's actually not really surprising for me, to be honest. I think that whenever you're in the office, you're in that kind of environment, you're more likely to snack or to go for the biscuit tin. I know this office, God, some of the sweet treats that we get to enjoy, it's hard to stick on the good diet. But many of us are now reaching for kind of fast and convenient foods as we feel we don't have the time to make healthy and nutritious meals. Joining me now in studio is Brian Crook, who is Workplace Wellbeing Educator and founder of the Workplace Wellbeing Ireland. Hi, Brian. Thanks so much for coming in. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Good. So this new research has shown that many of us are saying that when we're in the office, our diet suffers. So tell us more about maybe what some of the findings were.
That's right, yeah. So research commissioned by HelloFresh, looking at office workers, very recently, a little over 1,000 office workers. And what the data from HelloFresh is showing is that over 40% of Irish workers, first of all, are working 4 to 5 days per week in the office now. So that is an uptick in recent years. And due to that, the research is showing that days spent in the office, people are twice as likely to order fast food as opposed to the healthier option if they're in the office. We're also seeing 58% of respondents saying that their diet is negatively impacted when they go into the office. And 69% then say this increase, this uptick, if you like, in time in the office has made it harder to eat well. So there's a lot of findings coming from this, and being interested in the workplace and behaviours around the workplace, this is something that caught my eye.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that 28% of people say that they're now eating fast food in the office, say, for example, you were an office worker and this was your kind of current reality, what would you recommend for them to do to kind of turn the dial on this a little bit?
So I think the challenge here is that what this data is showing is that convenience is trumping nutrition. So we're reasonably well educated when it comes to nutrition and what we should be eating. However, the healthy choice isn't always the easiest choice. So people are kind of looking to the convenient option, and fast food is very convenient. So what I would recommend is make a healthy choice an easier choice. Make convenience healthy. So something like a meal kit from HelloFresh, for example, it's there, it's convenient, it's in the fridge, it's ready to go. That makes life so much easier. You need to kind of create that environment around your home life, around your work life, where you make convenience, you make the healthy choice, the easy choice. So it's very much related to nudge theory.
And I think one thing that you've mentioned is, also boundaries too. So a lot of people, even though they might be in the office, they get home, they're still maybe catching up on emails or available for calls or texts. So that kind of line between when you're in the office and at home blurs a bit. So people might find it difficult then, even when they do get home, to devote the time to cooking something kind of nutritious and healthy.
That's right. Well, I love the idea of, certainly boundaries are incredibly important. So I love the idea of almost a closing ceremony if you are working from home.
Sounds delightful.
It's a nice idea, isn't it? I mean, whatever that looks like for you. So is that simply shutting down the laptop, maybe a change of clothes? Maybe it's getting out for a walk or a run to signal the end of the day. Maybe that's meal time. Maybe that's meal prep time with the family. Laptop is shut down. You're getting the family together. You're having the catch up with them over a little bit of meal prep, a little bit of conversation. Someone's fixing the table. Someone's doing something else. And then you're sitting down and you're connecting as a family. You're sharing that meal with your flatmates potentially as well. I think that's the way to do it. Create those boundaries. So no one else is going to do it for you. Yeah. So you need to kind of create those personal boundaries to start with.
And when people are in the office, sometimes your meal times are kind of prescribed with, like, your lunch is 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, but you're still sitting at your desk from maybe 8:30, 9 in the morning until 1, and then back from 2 to 6 or 2 to 5. Are there little things that maybe you might recommend for people to maybe you can feel very sluggish sitting there all day like that? Like, what can we do?
Absolutely, you can. So I would hope either yourself or maybe through your workplace, through your employer, that little nudges are built into the day, like breaks between meetings. I mean, I love the idea of, this is whether you're working from home or in the office, that a standard Zoom meeting, it's not an hour, it's actually 50 minutes. So there's time between your next Zoom meeting. Is that for walking around a bit? Is that just for walking to another meeting room, to grab a glass of water, to get outside for a couple of minutes? I think that's really important. So there's maybe a technical nudge you can build into your day. But then there's boundaries yourself. I mean, put that in yourself. Get up, take a break between meetings, between calls. I think that's really important. That'll really re-energise you.
Would you recommend people, if they are coming into the office a lot, maybe bring in lunch with them and meal prep in advance? But I understand that can be kind of challenging. Even at weekends, you want to spend as much time as possible with your family. You don't really want to be cooking up a storm.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole convenience thing. So if you can do it, I mean, absolutely. There's a lot. Some people are great at making their meals for the week on a Sunday. Yeah. They're packing it up, they're freezing it, or they're getting it in the fridge, and that's done for the whole week. And if you're doing that, fantastic. Keep on top of that. For others, it might be the convenience of something like a pre-prepared meal kit, like from HelloFresh. Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? Is it dinner? Just something that's making that healthy option, the easy option again. Bringing in some fruits with you in your bag. If you think about when you're in the office, if you go to that local coffee shop, this is all back to nudge theory again. If you're probably in a rush between meetings, short amount of time at lunch, what is it you see at the counter as you're just about to check out?
Probably a muffin.
It's the muffins, it's the pastries, also all the nice stuff. It's the cans of Coke as well. So there's the convenience there. So create that environment around yourself. You have the fruits, you have the waters yourself, you have the meal kit at home. You're ready to go.
And would you recommend that people also include a lot of protein as well? So say if they're going to the shop, they have to go to the shop, and they're looking for something to pick up, are they better off filling their box or something with a lot of protein and to keep them full?
Yeah, protein can help with satiety, certainly. I'm a big fan of the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate. If and where possible, for every meal, can you have roughly 50% of your plate is made up of whole grains, 25% is protein, 25% is your fruits and veg. That's roughly speaking. But having that in the back of your head is a pretty good idea. And again, if you're ahead of the game, if you're preparing for this, you can kind of have that done in advance. But again, if it's is it fast food or is it the local coffee shop option or the local shop? It is a little bit harder to get that kind of protein in. We are getting better, but it's still quite hard.
Absolutely. So think in weeks, not days. Tell me about that.
So I love this idea. That's part of I wrote this article a couple of weeks ago around principles for returning to work without losing balance. And I think we can kind of beat ourselves up. We have a bad day in any aspect. Maybe if we're in office, chances are that'll be maybe back-to-back with meetings, with workshops, with collaboration style activities. So maybe that's a day we don't get our exercise in. Maybe that's a day we don't eat fantastically well. But don't think about that day as the bad day. Think across the whole week. Did I get my exercise in across the week? Did I get my healthy meals in across the week? Did I kind of allow some downtime across the week as well? So I think thinking across the week gives us that better balance.
And for people who might be listening, who might be kind of stuck in a rut and, they're saying, I'm just trying to get through the day I don't really want to be, cooking up a storm or, I'm despondent and what kind of advice do you have for them?
I guess try and think of the convenience piece of it. I mean, think of that as connection. Think of that as an opportunity for connection. Is that with your flatmate, your friend, your family? So it's not a chore. Again, if it's a healthy option, if it's something that the meal kit idea where that is down to the last T, every single item is taken care of. There's visual kind of recipes provided, by HelloFresh. So that's all kind of taken care of. The hard work is taken out of it. So use that as an enjoyment, as a moment of presence. Single task on the meal prep. It's kind of the mindful preparing of your food, connecting with others, with those around you. I love that the Mediterranean food pyramid, the very bottom rung of that pyramid, the foundational rung, if you like, there's no food on it. It talks about be active and share meals with others. So that is the foundation of the food pyramid. And all the foodstuffs come after that. But I love that idea.
And thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome.
Dublin.